we just found out some very, very sad news. Frank Cusimano of KSTK has tweeted out a very sad story. In this, it is say a prayer for the family of Bryan Burwell of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, sports columnist for a good number of years. He passed away this morning. He was battling from cancer. The tweet goes on to say there was no finer man in the media. Bryan Burwell passes away, suffering from cancer for years, passes away. Our thoughts and prayers clearly go out to his friends and family and his friends and family at the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. I didn't know him very well, but the few interactions I had with Bryan Burwell, he was always very nice, quick to say hi, and he was always quick to sort of talk your ear off.
Yeah. It was interesting in talking to Bryan. I had the opportunity to be around Bryan, and not certainly as much as a lot of the other radio or TV type individuals would be. But lots of stories. Yeah. And I like to talk to him. I would see him at Rams Park when I was wearing the other hat and full-time sports. And it was always good. I always enjoyed my conversations with him. I particularly liked Bryan Burwell when he would be on the Sports Reporters on Sunday morning, in New York. Yeah, I always found it interesting. I talked to him about, his preparation and going into New York and wherever they do the show, and I thought that, et cetera, or Connecticut.
I'm sorry. His one story I think is great, where he was talking about because he used to be on with Real Sports with Brian Gumbel, and he tells the story at the end of the segment. You would then sit in the chair, and then Brian Gumbel would then ask you questions. Right. And Bryan Burwell tells this story that when you were sitting in that chair waiting for the questions, you didn't know what the questions were. And you were sitting there petrified because Brian Gumbel's saying, "I'm going to ask you questions."
I always thought they knew.
Yeah, no. So he told a great story. I always remember that as an interesting. But Bryan Burwell, we're just finding out. Bryan Burwell, a sports columnist with the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, passed away. He was suffering from cancer. Frank Cusimano, sort of telling everybody, big football guy. Had lots of sources, was working right up till the end, it seemed like.
I guess I didn't realize that he was battling cancer. I had no idea. You're right.
He had a story not too long ago about the new Rams Stadium, and his sources are telling him all sorts of things.
Right, about the land and being down on the river.
Right, and they're talking to this one, and they're talking to that one, and so on and so forth. So
he was controversial with a lot a people. They didn't, but what?
Well, he was a columnist.
He was a columnist, yeah. So you had Bernie and you had Bryan.
So our thoughts and prayers go out to his friends and family, and to his friends and family at the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Bryan Burwell passes away of cancer. 8:21 here, KTRS.